How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid, which was down 2.75% on the day. Keep in mind, the market did literally fall off a cliff, but we did end up having a strong catalyst. I'll talk about it further in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $17.36, being down 2.75%. On the low, it tested $7.07, and then on the high, testing $18.41. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 22.281 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 30.18 million shares. So we did have below average volume on the day, and we've seen a slight pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it's at 43.96. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So it's clear to see that Lucid is in a bear market, trading below all of our major moving averages. So remember what I was saying in the previous video, how we continue to have resistance right at the 21-day EMA? And you know what? That continues to be the case. We ended up seeing a high at 1841. And right now it's set at 1834, so right around that range again. So Lucid has to break through this level for us to get that breakout move going to $20. This is very essential, and we know as far as $20, this is a psychological area as well. So you want to see bulls wanting to step in to see if they can push this price up to the 50-day moving average. But as far as from what I'm seeing, if we constantly get rejected at this 21-day EMA, we could have a pullback well below the $17. Yes, we did test $17.07, but if we have weakness continuing inside of these markets, then we want to see if Lucid could hold up at least around or above 1650. If it breaks through 1650, that's where we want to see if it could hold up right here around 1580. And if it was going to break through 1580, that's where we could start getting back into that $14 range. So these are some areas you definitely want to keep a very close eye on, but at least you know what it looks like to the upside and as well as for the downside. Now let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Lucid. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So we're going to go over these recent filings. I don't remember doing these two. I may have, but we'll just go over it again very quickly. So we have Beacon Point Advisors LLC that purchased 21,782 shares, and we have the Wealth Quarterback LLC that purchased 24,852 shares. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 54.39%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 4.15 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 500,000, updated 17 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 25.53%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 16th, it is at 61.21, and then for the close of the 17th, being at 54.39, and then taking a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 21.26%, Lucid does continue to have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we see on the inflow, it was at 67.61 million, and then on the outflow is 106 million. So we had an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 0.88, on the medium it was 37.72 million, and then on the small it was 29.01 million. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large it was 14.15 million, on the medium it was 56.74 million, and then on the small it was 34.94 million. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for May the 18th, we had an outflow of negative 13.27 million. Wow. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 1.34%. So this is a consistent range for Lucid and exactly what you want to see. But due to the fact that it did have a strong spike going into that mid $18 range, I'm not surprised at the profit taking, considering that we did have a strong sell-off in the market. So let's go into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Lucid, before we start talking about the price action, let's go over the recent press release that came out today. So here we go. Lucid gives new details for first overseas manufacturing facility with partners in Saudi Arabia. Lucid advances global sustainability vision, announcing new details for first overseas manufacturing facility with partners in Saudi Arabia. Lucid Group Inc. new factory to bring advanced electric vehicle manufacturing to Saudi Arabia with a local capacity of 155,000 units. Government of Saudi Arabia reaffirms commitment to purchase up to 100,000 Lucid electric vehicles over a 10-year period. Agreements estimated to provide finance and incentives to Lucid up to $3.4 billion in aggregate over the next 15 years. So this is definitely some great news that you want to see. And the fact that we got an update in regards to the plant in Saudi Arabia, I love it. And to addition of that, they're getting $3.4 billion in incentives. This is exactly what you want to hear if you're a Lucid shareholder, and it shows that the company is going in the right direction in regards to growth. Now, let's talk about the price action. So we ended up seeing a high at $18.41 before we had a sell-off. We know the market was weak overall, but when we take a look at those technicals, it has been a continuous trend that Lucid keeps getting rejected at the 21-day EMA. And this is something we have to pay attention to. And the reason why it bears a lot of significance, if it continues to be rejected, the price will pull back further. So for now, we want to see $17 continue to hold up. We did see a low of $17.07, so it does show there is some strength there. But if we end up breaking through those levels, then we want to see if it could hold up around 1650. And then below 1650, it starts looking really bleak. I want to make sure I'm being straight up. What I'm talking about, we could potentially see Lucid going down into the $14 range. But if we have a turnaround inside of these markets and we're able to break through that 21-day EMA, then we could see Lucid making that potential move to $20. We also do know that $20 is a psychological area for this play. There will be many that will be looking to take profits. We can't forget the fact that we are in a bear market. But if we have bulls stepping in and if we can break above $20, it can get really interesting, especially if we can get to the 50-day moving average. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we could see that institutions have been loading up on shares. Plus, on top of that, taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. So that's why it's very important that you have a game plan if you're going to be trading this play. That's why I give you guys those levels in regards to support and as well as resistance. And the reason why this is going to be beneficial, then you could figure out what your entries are going to be and what your exits are going to be. And then taking into consideration the market conditions, if you see a lot of weakness, what do you think is going to happen to Lucid? Of course, it's going to show weakness as well. It is in the NASDAQ 100. So if the NASDAQ has a bad day, you better believe that Lucid is going to have a bad day as well. But if the market turns around and then taking into consideration this catalyst, don't be surprised if you see Lucid going back to 18 and then making that move to 19, and which we know $20 is a psychological area. A break above this level, like I said, it can get very, very interesting. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I can't wait to see how the stock performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.